These are the 10 players that we think are most likely to leave Manchester United during the transfer window. I'm Stephen Howson, this is Full Time Devils. Let's get stuck into that list. Number 10, Cameron Borthwick-Jackson. Now, this is a lad when Lou Van Gaal brought him into the first team, didn't put a foot wrong. His crossing ability was absolutely fantastic, and maybe he could probably do a job for us if it's just banking crosses in for Lukaku to get on the end of this season. But that being said, he's at Leeds, he's on loan, he's played one league game for them at the time of recording, and I don't think that's doing his career any good whatsoever. For the sake of his own career, I think Cameron needs to move on. I think he's a very likely candidate to either be sold or loaned to someone that's going to actually play him in this window. Number 9, Juan Mata. This absolutely breaks my heart. One of the nicest players, obviously a big full-time Devils fan. Juan Mata, please don't go, Juan. His contract is up at the end of the season and there's been no talk of a renewal offer, despite the fact that he's one of our better performing players this season. It does feel like the end is nigh for Manchester United and Juan Mata. Does a return to Spain beckon? Does that mean it's going to happen in January? Well, I don't know. I don't like to second guess the Glazers, but if there's a transfer fee to be had for a player, I think they would try and cash in. James Wilson, a young man that has been absolutely plagued with injuries since breaking into the first team, scoring a brace on his debut for Ryan Giggs when he was temporarily in charge of the first team, and he's just not been able to kickstart his career. His career is going the exact same way that we saw Will Keane's going, and despite scoring a few goals in the under-23s, he's still not quite recaptured that form. One of the most deadly natural finishers that we've ever seen come through the academy, and I think it's probably time for him to move on and resurrect his career and get on with it rather than being an academy player and being languishing in what's a pretty boring under-23 side that Manchester United have got at the moment. Number 7, Axel Tuanzebe, one of the most natural defenders that I have ever seen coming through and one of the most mature footballers you've seen for his age. Absolutely unruffleable, not even sure that's a word, but I'm using it. Axel is a phenomenal talent that needs to be nurtured and needs to be getting game time. He's not getting much game time for Manchester United at the moment, so I think between now and the end of the season, calm down, I'm not saying let's get rid of him and let's sell him. Get him alone. We've seen what happened with Fosu Mensah when he went to Crystal Palace. One of their best players. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Axel Tuanzebe is of a similar sort of level that he could go into a lower level Premier League team right now and probably save one of them from relegation. So managers, get looking at him, take him on loan, let's see this boy develop. Number 6, Daley Blind. Don't know what's happened with him this season. Not favoured by Jose Mourinho in the slightest. We know he likes a big player. Daley Blind is not big, he isn't quick. He's excellent with the ball at his feet though, and you thought, with all the midfield problems we've had, you would have seen him moved into a midfield at least once. Jose Mourinho has not done it, and his contract is up at the end of next season. I think this is another one that the Glazers might want to cash in on if Jose Mourinho's not got him in his plans for the first team squad. Number 5, Ander Herrera. He ain't Spanish, he is Basque, but he's also out of contract at the end of next season, and exactly the same scenario as Daley Blind. I think that he might cash in on him. It hasn't worked playing him alongside Matic, which just doesn't make any sense for me because last season he was absolutely phenomenal. It's just not worked for him this season. Whether that's something that's happened personally between him and Mourinho, I don't know, but he's not looking like the player that he was last season. We do have Nemanja Matic. I think he could be deemed surplus to requirements either now or at the end of the season. Number 4. Now, this is a guy that has had a resurgence under Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho's pretty much come out and said he loves him, and that's Marouane Fellaini. But there's still these reports that Fellaini wants off. Now, does he see himself as a first choice player that's going to play week in, week out? Because I can't see him getting that at Manchester United. Is the World Cup year playing on his mind a little bit? Does he think that he needs to get game time elsewhere? Either way, there are reports circulating that Marouane Fellaini wants out of Manchester United, and they seem to be genuine, and I think we have to give them a little bit of notice at least. So he's on the list. I personally don't want to see him go. I think he offers a useful option in the squad, but if he wants to play week in, week out, then he's probably going to have to move to get that. Number 3, Matteo Darmian. Much like a lot of the rest of the players on this, he probably sees himself as an international footballer that's got, the peak of his career right about now, and he wants to be playing first choice football. Matteo Darmian is not first choice for Manchester United at left back, where he actually did very well for Italy in a number of international tournaments, or at right back. So you can understand why he would probably want to move on. So he's quite high up on this list because he's barely been seen in a Manchester United shirt so far this season. And I definitely think he's one that could be moved on either now or in the summer. Number 2, Henrikh Mkhitaryan. I actually can't believe I'm standing here saying this, but it feels like Mkhitaryan is on his way out. It genuinely feels like that. Why are we looking at players like Ozil to come in and replace pretty much what Mkhitaryan offers. Why has Jesse Lingard been getting all of this game time when he's in the same sort of position as Henrikh Mkhitaryan? There's clearly something happened between him and Mourinho, whether he can't settle in the area, whether he just doesn't feel up to playing for Manchester United. Something has broken down somewhere with what is an obviously talented footballer, and I don't get it. There's all sorts of reports linking him with moves to Turkey, to Italy, back to Germany. And I think you have to give them some credence, and I think that there's probably some truth in them, and I would be sad to see it happen, but if he's not settled here, he's not the first to do it. Henrikh Mkhitaryan is number 2 on our list because I think he's quite likely to go. Number 1, and this, I'm not happy that this is number 1 on our list. I fought against it. There was an argument, there was a pillar fight and everything, but number 1 is Luke Shaw. The fact that he's been unable to cement himself as the first choice left back when there's essentially no left back at the club means that Jose Mourinho doesn't trust him. He's managed him coming back from injuries, he's put in a couple of good performances, but you get the impression that he's just putting him in the shop window for someone to sign him. That's what it feels like, and it's an absolute tragedy because Luke Shaw, when he's fit, when he's on form, is easily one of the best left backs in the country, if not Europe, and I can guarantee he's going to go somewhere else and he's going to be absolutely fantastic for him. But right now, he's not trusted by the manager, he's a sellable asset, and I think that the Glazers are going to cash in and bring somebody else in. So there you have it. That is our 10 players that we think are most likely to leave Manchester United. Now, we know we're not going to get rid of 10, but Jose Mourinho shown last January that he's not afraid to let people go if he deems them surplus to requirements. I definitely think there's going to be a couple of players moving on. Some that I definitely don't want to see go that are on this list. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think these are the right lists? Do you think there's other people that maybe should be worried? Do you think this is... let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.